Welcome to Remelations. We're your hosts.
I'm Mindy.
And I'm Brooke. Remelations is a dream interpretation podcast where we read listeners' dreams, from nightmares to the just plain bizarre. Join us as we give you our comedic interpretation of your fucked up REM cycle.
This week, we're reading a dream from Bonnie that has to do with black tie parties and celebrities.
Ooh. We're also reading catnaps about garbage disposals, hammers, and trees eating people?
That doesn't sound very friendly.
No.
We also have catnaps that have to do with soul-revealing mirrors, teleportation, and dangerous hikes.
We're also talking about a fascinating article that we read about RBD, which is REM sleep behavior disorder.
All right, bestie, stay tuned, tuck in, and let's get started.
Woo!
This is weird because we're actually recording in the afternoon. This never happens. It's daylight out still.
This has happened maybe a handful of times?
It's not often.
Maybe. This is a nice rare treat, right? But I also kind of like recording at night because, I don't know.
Remelations any time of the day works for me, works for you, works for our bestie.
All day, every day.
Hey, you can sleep at night or you can sleep during a nap. So either way, really, there's no wrong time for this podcast.
But also, like, for family time, it is kind of nice to do it during the day if we have the opportunity, because then we have nighttime with our loved ones.
Well, we might get a little crazy today just because it's a different time, so watch out.
This episode is going to be, like, completely different than any other episode. No,
not really. But I am having a cocktail at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
As am I.
All right. Well, do I have a dream for you today? This dream comes from Bonnie, and Bonnie's from Andover, Minnesota.
Okay, Bonnie.
I think you'll like this one.
Okay. I trust you.
I had a dream a few nights ago that was so intense. I wonder if you guys can make sense of it.
Ooh.
Challenge accepted.
Oh, boy.
We'll try. We'll try our best.
Challenge
We're not pros,
accepted.
But we'll give you some ideas.
This is not gospel, Bonnie. This is not gospel. We will do the best we can.
What, Brooke, you don't have a doctorate in dream interpretation? You've been lying to me all this last year?
I'm working on it, Mindy.
Jeez. Mine's hanging up behind me in my office. Doctor of Dreams, PhD of Dreams.
I thought that was your tapestry.
Oh, it is just, that's it. You're right. It's just a celestial moon behind my head.
Congratulations on your PhD. I'm still working on mine.
All right. So Bonnie begins. I was invited to a high society party. It was in a beautiful home, and very rich and fancy people were mulling about.
Oh.
I felt like I didn't belong.
That must mean we were there, Mindy.
Yeah, of course we were.
We're very rich and fancy.
I felt I didn't belong, but I had done something amazing, like written a book or achieved greatness. So I guess I was invited. Perhaps it was a novelty. She's like, I'm feeling a little out of place. I'm in sweatpants and a t-shirt, and everyone here is in black ties. But that's okay. We'll roll with it.
Flip-flops. I want to wear flip-flops.
Crocs with socks.
Crocs with socks.
There was a rich dude in attendance. I saw him finish his drink, so I offered to take it for him. Then he belittled me by saying it wasn't proper practice.
What? Why is he so mad? She's just being polite.
Right? That's all she's
being. It's her party, right? Isn't it in her honor? She shouldn't have to be taking anyone's drinks, and he's being a dick to her? I don't like this guy.
Well, next, Kris Jenner appears. Because of all the Jenners. It'll be Mama Jenner there. She says,
Mama Jenner's got to be there.
She took my arm and started to tell me a story relating how she once had done something faux pas at a party and had learned a lesson. She was being so kind to me and explaining in a very thoughtful and kind sort of way. But then, you know that's never a good start to a sentence. But then,
a servant came up to us
and poured a jug of hot acid on Kris Jenner's head.
Oh my God.
Out of the blue.
I'm not laughing. I mean,
It's horrible, but
that would be
unexpected.
terrible, but I just didn't see that one coming. Like, oh, Miss Jenner, would you like some caviar? Would you like a drink? How about some acid on your head?
It didn't turn out well for Kris, unfortunately. Kris sort of just crumpled and fell back, dying instantly with her head caving in. What the fuck?
I'm sorry. I hit my blinds. Maybe you could cut that out. I gestured so wildly. I hit my blinds. With her head collapsing?
Yep, we lost Kris. Kris is gone.
She gone.
All of the high society guests started to scatter. I thought, no, why did the servant do this to Kris? Next thing I know, there was an uprising of servants, and they took over the entire house. As soon as I realized what was happening, I left and ran away. However, I was shocked to see the police were chasing me.
What?
They caught up with me and began to question me. I didn't want to say anything, but finally I decided to tell them what I saw. All of the truth. And then I woke up.
Oh, Bonnie. I hope you helped them solve the crime and you didn't get pinned for it, because
no shit.
I'm just so worried that they're going to take her in and they'll be like,
who's got the prints on the boiling cauldron of acid is the question. We're just going to have to test that for prints, dust it off.
Probably none, because the prints are burnt off.
We will need the luminol.
From the acid are holding. Are there no security cameras, people? We live in a world of security cameras. Can't we see who poured the acid?
Did the servant just like walk up in like a full hazmat suit? Like that would be a dead giveaway to me. Like, what are you doing? It's a little not in a black tie attire.
Like you said, like one of those protective outfits, but almost like one of those jokey tuxedo shirts, but the protective outfit was like a jokey tuxedo protective outfit.
That's it.
And he's like, ma'am,
which
he has a tray.
It looks like champagne, but
jug.
It's just acid.
Like, it's just, ma'am, would you like some? And then she crumples and dies.
Oh, no. Bonnie does finish up the email with, what the heck? I am still so shook by this, and I can't even compute if anything jumps out to you two who are less emotionally involved with the dream. I would love to know what you think. That's from Bonnie.
Wow, Bonnie. Okay.
I thought this was fun, but a very evil twist in it.
Fun and disturbing, which is what we're all about.
Let's add two things that don't belong. Acid. I feel it's like a cauldron of acid and a black tie affair. I mean, some acid does happen at a black tie affair, but that's not the kind we're talking about here.
But
or
that's not the kind that melts your face and
caves in your head. God, it's not
that's
funny.
The kind where you stare at a Christmas tree for 4 hours.
Miss Jenner, I am sorry about this, but we cannot control the minds of our dreamers.
I don't think it's anything personally against you.
No.
But just so we know, hashtag, what is Kris Jenner dream?
Hopefully she did not have the other side of the stream where she's attending a party and gets acid poured on her.
And she doesn't understand. She's like, why am I having this nightmare?
In any case, we want to know. Kris, darling, please let us know. Tell us. Hashtag, what does Kris Jenner dream? I'm sure
you've got some good dreams. We want to hear them.
I think that brings us up to now 2 Jenners, Kardashians / that we've hashtagged.
Did we do Chloe?
We did Rob. We're just going to keep going down the list of Kardashian Jenners and see what we get.
Until we get one.
Caitlin, we're coming for you next. We want to know.
We're coming for Caitlin. I'm coming for the kids. I'm coming for all the kids. They're all on the TikTok and the, Instagrams.
And
they're going to find us
socials.
and be like, oh,
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, on all the social.
Okay, well, to dive into Bonnie's dream here, let's get started.
Well, it would make sense that she was at a rich and fancy party that Kris Kardashian would be at, because that tracks.
It tracks.
I feel like Kris Kardashian probably, attends some fancy parties.
I feel like Bonnie felt like from the beginning she didn't belong there. Like she didn't fit in, she said. She had done something great. Yeah. So I think she did fit in. But personally, in her personal conversation with herself in this dream, she's like, I don't belong here. I'm in my Birkenstocks. Yeah. I've got my hair in a messy bun. I don't belong at this party. But nonetheless, she was there.
Right.
I think the interesting part of this dream, right before it turns evil, going back to Kris Jenner, is who is the Kris Jenner in your life, right?
who has said that sentence before? Right before it turns evil. Let's go back to Kris Jenner.
But honestly, like, who is that person that's telling you, like, yeah, like, shit happens. We all belong here. Like, you learn from your mistake and you move on. I want to know in Bonnie's life, who is that person? Who is your cheerleader? Who is bringing you kindness and insightfulness to something you're not feeling comfortable with? And if you don't have that cheerleader,
and maybe she doesn't have that.
We're going to be that cheerleader. Brooke and I, we got your back, girl. We got you. You're our bestie now.
Mindy
we're there.
A cheerleader, so she can do cool stuff.
That's true.
I can maybe clap. And that's about it. I can't do jumps. Mindy can do the jumps.
Not anymore. Girl, you're talking like when I was like 17 years old. You think I can do a toe touch right now? I'd pull every muscle in my damn lower half.
I don't know. You'd probably
that hasn't already been torn by children. I don't, you know?
You're going to be torn even further.
But no, Bonnie, we'll be your cheerleaders.
Your little bloomers.
Oh, God.
We will. And
there's some outside force maybe telling you that they believe in you and you needed to take that in and you needed to reflect on that. But why the chaos? Why the servant uprising? And why the damn hot acid? Okay. So if you think about acid, it literally peels your skin off. Right? You're like uncomfortably nodding. Like, yeah, it does. It pretty much it pulls away all the vanity. It pulls away all the outside distractions. And if I'm thinking about it, it really brings you down to your core. And honestly, that's scary. Being completely vulnerable and exposed in a way is terrifying, especially in a place where you feel like you don't belong in the first place.
But that's the interesting part of this dream, is that she's not the one being torn down to her core. It's Kris Jenner being torn down to her core. Who do we need to look at that needs to be stripped down to the basics and kind of built back up as a decent human? Like, what's going on here?
It is scary. And I really feel that there is a good presence. There was someone there that was giving maybe advice in her life, but was it fake? Was it someone who is being a fake friend? I don't know. That's for you to decide, Bonnie, but I think that's a lot to think about.
Or maybe she was just trying to figure it out in her own head. And she was just kind of like telling herself, I feel uncomfortable, but I know I'm supposed to be here. But I feel uncomfortable, but I know I'm supposed to be here. It's just kind of just figuring that all out.
Yeah. And in the end, that's when she ran away from the police. I mean, again, I hope they didn't pin this charade on you. You were not part of the uprising. We have a video proof. We will go testify on your behalf. But when she did finally catch
why
up,
the uprising, right?
Yeah. Why? There's so much you could do with like really social and, you know, the appearances these days and Instagram. I look great, right? I'm like, is it really the truth? It's getting down to the truth, and perhaps.
And that's especially, I think, if there's anybody in the world that knows about how to use social media for their advantage, it's the Kardashian family.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why Kris Jenner made a little appearance, and I don't know. Lots of interesting little things here.
When it comes down to it, at the end, when the police do catch up with her, she does say the truth. Like, this is what happened. Yeah. This is what happened. And so I think it's good that she told her truth at the end.
I do too, but all too often it makes me so nervous as as we are all true crime buffs as well, that false confessions or confessions taken under duress, like if they had her there for like 15 hours, makes me nervous for Bonnie. Bonnie didn't do it.
She didn't do it. She just felt uncomfortable.
Bonnie, free Bonnie.
Free Bonnie. Agreed. We'll get like that printed on some T-shirts, perhaps, and a poster.
Yes.
It might take 12 months for us to get our artwork, but we'll get it to you. Okay. Overall, I think this dream is kind of the idea of imposter syndrome. And being good enough, but not feeling you're good enough is something that many people deal with.
I would say at least most people do at least some point in their life.
Right. I think, and it's funny that this dream came up and it kind of led me down this path because I did listen to something this week. It was a clip by Michelle Obama that had to do with imposter syndrome.
Okay.
And I'm going to link in the show notes because if you're ever feeling imposter syndrome, listen to this quote. I did take a couple notes on it, so if you don't mind, I'm just going to share a couple things that she said because this is kind of where I felt the dream was going in general, and I feel I can relate it to this.
Yes.
I love Michelle, by the way. She says, it's often that people feel, and I'm paraphrasing most of this.
Okay.
So she says, feeling like an imposter in your own life is really common, and especially in women and minorities. Like you were told by society that you are not supposed to be there. Like, you don't belong here.
Right.
And the thing about imposter syndrome, it's a thing in your head. It's like self-confidence. It's something that you make up in your own head. And so the only people that can change that you feeling like an imposter or your self-confidence is you. There's nothing that anyone else can say or do that can change that. And you have to start practicing telling yourself that you belong in a room. Because
that's a tough
That's so hard,
thing
right?
to do.
Absolutely it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, like you said, everyone kind of goes through this. And I know I do with my business. I mean, there's a lot of great photographers out there. And I'm like, well, I'm not as good as photographer A, B, C, and D. But, I'm okay. Like,
sure.
How could I charge the same thing they charge? It is constant.
Because you are good enough.
Oh, you're right. I am. I was going to say don't say that. But I should accept you saying that.
Receive it.
I'll receive it. Miss Obama goes, Michelle, whatever. We're on first name basis. Michelle Shelley says in this, she explains she has been in some very important rooms in her life.
Oh, really?
She goes, like, I've been a lawyer in a boardroom. I was at an academic university. I was the first lady. I've run nonprofits. She goes, I've seen it all. And I'm telling you, there's a lot of people in those rooms that don't belong there, which I thought was hilarious. Like, you're right. There are people that don't belong there. But the difference, she says, is those people, and I will generalize here, white middle-aged men are told they belong there, whereas women or minorities, you're told you don't belong there. And so you're sitting at the same table as the person next to him. And she goes, I realize it's not me. It is him. He's the one who doesn't belong here.
But that's a tough realization to come to, especially when you're told this your whole life,
Yes.
That you don't belong there.
And she goes on to say, like, she was just like waiting to fail and mess up and make it true what was in her head. She's like, I kept winning. I kept doing the right things. I kept making it to the next important room. And she says, when you go into the room you're not supposed to be in, sit down and occupy that seat. Just do you. Your thoughts are just as relevant. Your experience is just as important. Your insight is just as valuable as anyone else in that room.
Nice.
And I love that quote because she goes, the guy sitting next to you is not giving up his seat. He doesn't care that you don't feel like you should belong there. He's not going to scoot over his chair and be like, oh, here, have a seat, because he doesn't want you there. So make your own way.
And not only is he not giving it up, it's like no one's going to make him give it up either, is the issue. It's like you have to fight to sit I'll sit on the floor in the corner if I have to, but I'm going to be in that goddamn room.
Yes, you do. You belong there, Brooke. And so does Bonnie. And again, I'll post the link to this YouTube video on our show notes. It stopped me in my tracks. It was really good. And I think it tied in nicely to what Bonnie was thinking in this dream of not belonging to a place. So Thank you, Bonnie, for submitting your dream. I loved it. I mean,
it was awesome.
I hope Kris Jenner got the reconstructive skin grafting she required. But then again, maybe she's an alien.
And was brought back to life.
Right. Oh, yeah. That's
one's really sure.
We're not sure.
No one's really sure about that whole family. They could be aliens from another race.
Like
come down to take
droids.
over. And
we don't know.
They're doing a great job of it, if that's the case.
We support everyone.
We do. Bonnie, thank you so much for that dream. That was intense. That was crazy. And we appreciate you submitting that. And we know, Bestie, you have a dream out there too, just like Bonnie, or maybe a dream or 2 or 3 or 4, or maybe just a dream story or a cat nap. Submit it to us. If you know any of the Kardashians, send out your feelers. Have them send us their dreams too.
Yeah.
We want to hear
6 degrees of separation, Brooke.
About everything.
There has to be a link here somewhere.
They're somewhere in our besties.
Someone knows Kevin Bacon. Who knows the Jenner family? We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. We'll start one of those those cork boards with the string.
Oh yeah,
I
love it.
Connecting pictures. We'll figure it out. But in the meantime, please let us know what's on your mind in your REM cycle and submit your dreams to remelations@gmail.com. And we can't wait to hear from you.
Yes.
Oh. All right.
Yeah.
Some kitty cat naps.
It's time. You said kitty cat naps.
Cat naps. Did you work on your cat nap theme song?
Nope.
Kitty cat naps. Yes, that's what I call them.
Kitty cat naps.
Get that shit going.
I like your song. All right.
Did you want me to start with one?
Please.
Okay. I've got one from Mike from Dubuque.
All right.
I'm not sure where I was or why, but someone got murdered. They figured out that whoever worked on the garbage disposal was the murderer. They found
it's me.
I know, right?
I just replaced mine last month. It's me. I did it. I'm sorry. I confess.
Just wait. It might get to that.
I mean, I would like a lawyer.
Please, I'm not saying anything. They found my prints all over the disposal, and the entire family, both sides, were extremely upset. I guess the family should be upset if they thought he was a murderer, but I told everyone that I just changed the garbage disposal last year, and that's why my fingerprints were on it. Everyone just went, "Oh, okay. That makes sense."
Okay.
And that was it.
Now, my question is did he dispose of the body in the garbage disposal? Because then I could understand you needing to replace one because, you know, how it gets jammed with all those bones.
I don't know who. I don't even know.
That's the only logical sense in my brain.
Well, the logical sense was not to put bones down the disposal. And I do believe he's innocent. Who can crush bones in a disposal? I mean, if I drop a fucking spoon down there and it like shoots it out around and dings it up, I'm like, it's gonna crush bones and just come exploding out.
To dispose of bodies. Always go for the incinerator in the basement.
Yes, or chop the body into pieces and dispose of it in several different locations.
Yeah, it's a lot harder to get away with murder these days. We know that. But we're not giving away those tips.
No, those are not tips from us. Those are just general tips for true crime.
Yeah, that's common sense. That's common
sense, people. Don't try to put them in the tub and put lye on them because it's just going to get gooky.
Gonna light up like a Christmas tree.
And it will like drop through your ceiling. Yeah, your tub will.
I've heard that one. I've heard that one before.
Oh, gross. Gross. Imagine having breakfast and you're like, yeah, I know I'm like decomposing somebody upstairs, but boy, this frittata tastes delicious.
You're fancy frittata, huh?
Yeah, you know. This is a frittata
I know
household.
You. All right. This next one comes from Luna. And Luna is from Elk Grove, California. And it just seems like the perfect name for this podcast. So, Luna, thank you for sharing your dream.
Thank you. You're meant to be here.
100%. Anyone named Luna gets 5 stars in my book.
Mm-hmm.
I was flying around in my dream. I landed in front of a big mirror. I suddenly realized I was dreaming. I tried to lucid dream, so I thought, I want to see my soul.
Whoa!
I looked into the mirror.
Want to do that.
And then my body disappeared. I saw myself only as a dark shadow.
Whoa.
Then I started flying around fast, and it was really fun. I remember feeling surprised, but happy in the dream. Right? I thought that was going to be like an awful, like, ooh, dark. And then she's like,
so
I still had fun.
Dark and ominous. But then it got really fun.
I have no soul. Who needs a soul anyways? Not Luna. She doesn't need one.
Not Luna, as long as you're flying around and having a good time.
Thank you for sharing,
thanks,
Luna.
This one has about a sleepover, so I thought I'd share this one.
Yeah.
I'd often have sleepovers with my cousin. We'd be in bed and my closet would open and a super scary skeleton would come out. We'd jump up and run to my parents' room and they would help her onto their bed with them, but I would just be standing beside the bed trying to get up and no one would help me. I'd wake up just before the skeleton grabbed me. Oh,
of course.
That's kind
At
of
least you woke
sad.
up before he grabbed you.
You can't. Do these parents not have 4 arms? There are 2 children.
Right?
You don't see the skeleton chasing them?
Giant circle. Just one big family hug. Hug that skeleton right back to where it came from.
You'd be like, okay, well, I guess we could save the cousin, but not her kid. I don't know.
Not a good feeling.
But
it's not a good feeling.
Not a fun sleepover. Not a fun sleepover, I don't think. And that one came from Elizabeth from Montgomery.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Elizabeth.
All right. I've got one here from our good friend Gina from Phoenix.
Gina, hello.
She sent this one. Good morning and happy Monday. I don't know how many happy Mondays there are, but thank you. But I like this one, Gina. This one's great. I had a dream that some scientists were working on inventing a new type of coffee. It was basically magical coffee that would allow people to teleport.
Oh,
now,
my
I'm not a
God.
coffee girl, but I had like teleportation coffee. I'll jump on that train.
Well, you are all about teleportation. We all know that. You
I
like
am.
to just
way
go
easier
from-
to get home. I just want to go to Iowa to see my family, my friend Brooke, and I would drink it. One of the female scientists figured out the formula, and then there was a patent race. In typical historic sexist fashion, one of the male scientists stole the idea and got the patent first.
Fucker.
I get that, yeah, asshole. It was a real bummer, but I was still pretty excited about the new coffee.
Yeah, well.
It required a special coffee maker, of course.
I would think so.
Which, not just brew it in your home, like
No, and then you're like,
brew it in your Mr.
"Boo,
Coffee Pot.
I'm in outer space.
I've thought of a lot of ways of doing teleportation. Coffee was not one of them ever crossed my mind.
I don't know if it's ever crossed anyone's mind except Gina's.
Gina's a very special person.
That's why we love her.
So it required a special coffee maker, which I assumed would be very expensive and not easily found. But I stopped by Starbucks just to see, because my husband is a big coffee person.
Let's see if Starbucks has it.
Of course they would. They would overcharge you for it, of course.
Totally worth it.
Because my husband is a big coffee person, and I figure he would think I'm awesome if I got it for him as a gift. And he could be one of the first people to have it.
Nice.
I asked the barista if she had it. She said yes, and that it was only $99.
Oh, that's
Totally
not
worth
too bad.
it.
I'm like, get one for everyone in the family. We'll all go on trips
Everyone
together.
on your Christmas list gets a teleportation coffee maker from Starbucks. Totally worth it. So I bought it. It did occur to me that I was supporting the shady male scientist who stole the idea from the female scientist. But then again, I felt satisfied knowing that I was such an awesome wife. Then I woke up.
A good deal's a good deal, right, Gina? She knows.
Hey, you know, You got it. You got to take those deals where you can get them. I love that dream, Gina. Thank you so much. And if you do happen to pick one up for $99, just pick up a couple extra. We'll sure
get you back.
We'll
get you on the flip side.
We're good with that. We got it. Nice.
I want one. And I don't want to wait till Christmas of next year or this year, I guess. But I'm ready to go on a trip right now. Okay.
I'm sure.
All right. This one's from Nicole from Calgary.
All right. Yay for Canadian.
This one's dark. Just a heads up. This one's dark. I had a recurring nightmare from 6 to 8 years old. I would walk down an alley and enter a building where every member of my family and extended family sat. A man...
Sounds okay.
Oh, boy.
But I don't like the fact it's in an alley. Can we take this party elsewhere?
I don't like either that this happened, like she's dreaming this from the ages of 6 to 8, because it's going to get dark. Okay.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
So her family's all sitting around. A man made me pick someone each time and then would make them kneel and would smash their head with a big hammer. Oh my God.
That's awful. At 6 years old, you're having this dream? My
6 to 8. What happened? Like, I watched horror movies way too young, but I wasn't having these recurring dreams.
No.
And about your family member? Mm-hmm. Oh, this is terrible.
So hard.
I would then put my backpack on and go to school. Wow. After just seeing all that, she would have to go to school.
Well, those ABCs aren't going to learn themselves.
That's true. You got to learn your 1, 2, 3s and your ABC.
Because otherwise, how is she going to read about this in the newspaper?
I mean, I don't care how many heads got hit with a hammer. You still got to go to school.
It's like you go to show and tell. All right, kids, what did you bring in today? And she's
Here's
like, well,
hammer
I brought this bloody hammer.
that I have seen killed 17 people. But I have to bring it back because there's more plans for tonight.
We're going to have to place a call to your parents.
Oh, they're dead. No, they're dead. They got hit by the hammer. Are you not listening? The principal doesn't understand.
Oh, God.
Goes to school right after a horrific thing like that.
Yes.
Everything looked like a comic book, but the only colors were black, white, and red. I literally never read comics or watched anything other than Nickelodeon.
Okay.
Well, we're thinking this is a 6 to 8 year old, right? So that would be what they would watch, Nickelodeon. I think Nicole is saying it's like, I wasn't watching crazy stuff. I was just watching Nickelodeon. Yeah. I never read violent comic books, but yet this dream, a recurring dream, 6 to 8. Way too young. Oh, Nicole,
it's very
so
interesting.
Sorry.
It's black, red, and white, did you say?
Yeah, black, white, and red. Yeah, so that blood.
What strong emotional colors, too. Strong colors.
Very. Those are like terrifying. 3 of the strongest colors, right?
Yeah.
They mean a lot. But, oh, my God. 6 to 8? That's what breaks my heart. Yeah. Thank you, Nicole.
All right, well, I'm going to take it for a lighthearted turn, kind of.
Please?
This one was one that was submitted anonymously. And hey, bestie, don't forget that you can always submit your dreams anonymously. If you don't want your name shared. That's fine. Just let us know.
Please.
All right, so this one comes from Anonymous.
Okay.
I hope this isn't too strange or uncomfortable to read. I don't think I was at a store, but I had a shopping cart with me. Inside the cart contained feminine hygiene products.
Well... Yep. Sometimes you just need a whole cart full.
Heavy flow. But she says the weird thing is they were not inside any of the boxes. A man was talking to me. It's unclear if we were a couple or yet to become a couple. But a few times, a used product would fall out of my shopping cart, and I immediately felt embarrassed.
Yes. Rightfully so. Why are there used ones in the shopping cart? I don't understand.
That was the part that threw me for a loop.
I don't understand.
There's plenty of things you can buy used. Clothes, go thrifting, some furniture, records. Don't buy
almost
that used.
anything, but
I don't
not
think that's
feminine
a good
hygiene
idea.
products.
Not that.
They're not meant for reuse.
Definitely want the fresh new ones in the box. So she felt embarrassed, but he maintained eye contact with me each time. My embarrassment went away just because he continued to talk to me and kept constant eye contact.
That's even creepier. I would feel like
I don't know if it makes it any better.
I know. I'd feel like the constant eye contact would make it even more uncomfortable. It'd be like,
right? It sounds like a really bad first date.
how much are you use tampons? I'll give you $1 a piece.
So disgusting. No wonder you wanted to stay anonymous, but thank you.
Oh, yeah. That was,
yeah.
Woo. Yeah. There are weirdos out there that will do shit like that. Oh, well, thank you for submitting that. I've got one more. It's just a short little one. This is from Matthew from Hanover. And he says, the scariest dream I ever had, I was 7. He says, now 51, was being in a dark forest with my 2 older brothers, and trees grabbed my brothers in their branches and ate them. Like the trunks opened up and sucked them in. Ow! That's creepy.
This is like some bad Wizard of Oz shit.
Yeah, it's like
those
a
damn
bad
apple
B
trees
movie.
scared the shit out of me as a kid.
They did. They were
I don't need it
mean,
in my life.
and they had sass mouths. Those trees.
They did have sass
They
mouths.
did have sass mouths.
I think this tree has some anger issues. This forest.
I think
just stay out of the forest.
It reminds me too, kind of the tree in Poltergeist, where it like breaks through the window and stuff. It's like trees. Why be scary? Why be scary?
Why do we equate that to scariness?
Yeah.
Well, it's dark.
But like the trunks open up and like you watch your brothers being eaten alive and suck them in. Yeah, that's. I would remember that dream too, Matthew. I'm sorry. That happened to you.
Yikes. So I have a dream story from Leo, and Leo is from Denver, Colorado.
Okay.
All right. So this is a good story one. So
Here
we go.
I like it.
I dreamed I fell off a mountain.
Uh-oh.
Right? That's kind of we're just getting
right into it. Good dream.
About 2 weeks ago, I had a dream that I was hiking with my sister, and we stopped by a small cliff that had a steep plunge off the mountain to take a quick sip of water. I sat near the edge when I saw someone coming and told her to scoot, which she told me, you need to move so I can move, since she was near the edge too. It was a narrow walkway area. Okay. Just imagine 2 siblings saying there, scoot. No, you scoot. No, you scoot.
Scoot.
Scooty scoot.
Come on.
That's a funny word, isn't it?
Scoot.
That's just need an inch.
I say that to like animals, not a person. Like, scoot.
Right?
Go on. Go on.
So I scooted to the side, and in doing so, the rock I had placed my foot on became loose, and I fell. And then I woke up.
Oh,
my God. I wrote this off as a dream nightmare until today.
Oh, no.
I went on a hike with some friends and my sister to an area we had never gone before. So we let our friends take the lead. From the moment we reached the top part, I had a sense of deja vu that I had been there before. We all sat down and spread out in different areas near the cliff to drink some water. I sat by the edge, and my sister was behind me. From the corner of my eye, I saw someone was coming, so I told my sister to scoot.
No!
Scoot! And she responded word for word, you need to move so I can move. Immediately, I remembered my dream, and I instantly recognized that it was the same mountain I had dreamed of. I immediately looked down and saw a rock similar to the one I had tried using in my dream.
No.
Instead of stepping on it to slide down like I had done in my dream, I scooted to the side while holding on to my sister.
She scooted.
There's a lot of scooting going on here.
There's a lot of scooting in this dream.
It's a scoot-filled dream.
Scooty, scoot.
After the person passed by, I lightly pushed the rock I had almost stepped on, and it immediately came loose and fell crashing below.
No. This is amazing.
My sister just stared and told me to be careful because that could have been dangerous.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. Holy
Wow,
cow. Leo.
Incredible precognitive dream. We love ones like that. That's a perfect dream.
I love
story to share.
precog. Wow, Leo, that was
Precogs are
fascinating.
fave.
Wow.
And terrifying.
And terrifying.
And if someone tells you to scoot, I'm like,
Don't
I'm not
do
the
it.
scooting type.
Be like, why don't you
I'm not a scooter.
scoot? I'm not a scooter.
I'm not a scooter.
Sorry, it's against my beliefs. I found this seat. I'm not scooting.
Next time someone asks you to scoot, you know you're going to think of this moment and you're going to be like, should I scoot? The answer's a no. No scooting.
Take a look around. Are there loose rocks? You can play this one by ear, right? Like if there's no
If
rocks.
you're on a bus, maybe okay to
be
scoot
like, yeah,
over.
I can scoot. But
Cliff, maybe
if you're
not.
on a cliff or somewhere,
It's a no
don't
scoot zone.
No scoots
No
allowed.
Zone. Thanks, Leo.
Wow.
for
Okay.
sharing your dream
Thanks,
with us.
Leo.
That was perfect.
Woo. That was a doozy.
Hey, bestie, don't forget, if you're in the Chicago area or feel like hopping in a car, putting on our podcast, driving a few hours, and coming to the Chicago area, we are doing a live performance at the Dark Matters Podcast Festival. Now, that's next weekend, February 5th at 6 o'clock p.m. Brooke and I will be taking the stage and doing a live performance. So this is our first time live in front of an audience. So if you want to catch us, you want to say hi, meet and greet us, give us hugs, buy us some teleportation coffee, anything like that, just don't tell us to
scoot,
we
though.
Not.
We won't
Don't tell us to scoot. We definitely want you there. You can find all the details at remelations.com/support, where you can go ahead and get tickets, just $10 a day. And it's worth it. We're going to make it worth it for you guys. So come out and say hello.
Hello.
Just like Brooke did. Hello. Hello.
Just like that. Hello. You can use whatever accent you like. Your own.
Yes.
One you made up.
You could howdy.
Howdy.
Bonjour. However you want to say it.
Mindy, I wanted to talk to you about a topic today if you're interested.
Always, always.
Well, this is a fascinating article that was from Scientific American that was actually brought up to us by our bestie, Kelly. So thank you, Kelly, for bringing this to our attention.
Yes.
The title of the article is Acting Out Dreams Predicts Parkinson's and Other Brain Diseases. Interesting, right?
Very interesting. Yeah.
So we're talking about people that think they're doing something in their dreams, like shooting someone, but they're really pointing a toothbrush at someone in real life. Things
Hands
like
up.
that.
That's a dangerous weapon. I will fight those
Reach
cavities
for the
to
sky.
the hill. You know what's funny? Before you get started, before we hopped on the recording today, I had a dentist appointment, and I was like, I wasn't sure because I had an appointment for some dental work, but I also had just a cleaning. I was like, oh shit, I hope my mouth's not numb when I get home because I'm going to be able to record.
Whoa, the revelation. We're home.
Revelation.
Mindy. And I'm Brooke.
Luckily it was just a cleaning. All is good, but I didn't think about it until I actually sat down in the dentist chair. I'm like, wait, what are you guys doing today?
Yeah, what's happening?
It's just a cleaning? Okay, I'm good.
I can't be numb. Nope.
X-rays, love it. Give me all the mouth. I love doing the X-ray. Just kidding. I hate X-rays. Anyways.
I was like, are you fucking serious? X-rays
No,
are
who likes
so
dentist
hard.
X-rays? They're the worst. I feel like I'm
Plus now-
suffocating and I'm going to die.
And choking and gagging
Yes.
and wanting to puke at this. It's and they're like, 3 more seconds. And you're like,
At least my technician, she runs behind the wall as fast as possible. She's like, pew, pew, I'm back. Pew, pew. I'm like, you are the fastest. You can do them every time.
I think they have to kind of get used to that. Otherwise, it's like people can't take it. And it's probably benefits both people because they're like, you moved. We got to do it again. So she's like,
Yes,
"Woo, woo,
yeah.
woo, woo, we're done.
Exactly.
But what's also interesting about this article, it starts with an actor I think we've talked about before, Mr. Alan Alda.
Yes,
Best known for MASH. Alan Alda was running for his life. The actor, best known for his role on the television series MASH, wasn't on a set. This threat was real. or at least it felt that way. So when he saw a bag of potatoes in front of him, he grabbed it and threw it at his attacker. Suddenly, the scene shifted.
Very good. Yeah. Just launch them like grenades, those potatoes.
Just throw them. He was in his bedroom, having lurched out of sleep, and the sack of potatoes was a pillow he'd just chucked at his wife.
Oh, poor woman. But I think a lot of people can relate to that. Yeah.
Yeah, and we've talked about several dreams, including I've had a dream. I've had a cousin who I've talked about and who submitted a dream that have acted out things for this very same reason. But acting out dreams marks a disorder that occurs during REM. It's called RBD, and it stands for REM Sleep Behavior Disorder. And it affects about half to 1.25% of the general population. So not many. Apart from being hazardous to dreamers and their partners, RBD may foreshadow...
At least it wasn't real potatoes he was chucking at her. Because that would be a pillow.
Ouch.
He just goes to the pantry. Ooh. Ouch. Yukon Gold. I've got a bag of them.
Like even if it's a 5-pound bag, that's going to hurt. Like his wife's probably sound asleep and he's just chucking a bag of potatoes. I'm glad it was just the pillow, Mrs. Alda.
Yeah. Yes.
But besides that danger, RBD may foreshadow neurodegenerative diseases, which gets a little scary. So when RBD occurs in the absence of like alternative explanations like narcolepsy, brainstem tumor, or antidepressants, the chance of future disease is high. Some studies suggest that enacted dreaming predicts a more than 80% chance of developing a neurodegenerative disease within that patient's lifetime. 80%.
That's a big percent. Wow.
80. Oh my gosh. This scares me because I've done this. I've done this in my dreaming.
Yeah, we're not trying to scare our bestie out there, Brooke.
No, we're not trying to scare, but
we're just sharing science. It's good to know.
Right? We're just sharing science. It may also be the first sign of a neurodegenerative disease, which on average shows up within 10 to 15 years after the onset of the dream disorder.
Interesting.
So it's like, okay, I had this dream tonight. Let's date it. And I'm going to put on my calendar about 10 to 15 years from now. That's scary.
It's very scary.
But despite the similar reports over the next 2 centuries, the connection between dreams and disease remained obscure. So much, and this is why we love him, so much that Alan had to convince his neurologist to do a brain scan for Parkinson's after he read about the link in a 2015 news article.
Wow.
Those scans...
Go, Mr. Alda. Go advocate your own health.
Go, Alan Alda, right? I mean...
Like, that's the thing you have to know. You have to advocate for yourself. And good for him for doing that.
You do. And, like, even if he didn't know much about it, he did research about it, but he's like, let me at least try.
At least you can rule stuff out. At least you can be... It doesn't hurt.
What can it hurt? What can it hurt? But those scans that he insisted on that would have never taken place, and if he had never read that article... confirmed his suspicion, and he did have Parkinson's.
Wow.
He shared his experience with the public to raise awareness. Oh, Alan, thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you. Just a few more things here because I think it's a very interesting topic. It also ponders, does damage to the brainstem also affect the content of dreams and the actions of the dreamers? Although these people struggled with This is probably the most fascinating part of the article, especially knowing it's primarily in relation to Parkinson's. It is with other diseases too, but especially with Parkinson's. So although these people struggled with movement while awake because they have Parkinson's, their spouses often reported that they had no trouble moving while asleep.
Wow.
Isn't that interesting? One particularly memorable patient had been dreaming of crocodiles in the sleep lab when he lifted a heavy bedside table above his head and loudly shouted, "Crocodile! crocodile to an empty
no.
room.
Wow. That is a heavy acting out in your sleep. Whew.
He struggled to lift objects and even to speak when he was awake. But he could lift that over his head and scream in his sleep. But when he was awake, he could barely lift anything and could barely speak.
Fascinating.
It also raises a tantalizing possibility for therapy. What if you could mimic whatever that motor state is when a person's asleep, but keep them otherwise awake?
Yeah.
So this article was good, Kelly. This is a good article.
Thank you for sharing. Wow. Now my brain's like reeling, right? Because that is the interesting part, because there's so much we don't know.
It is. Yes,
and that's maybe something that maybe in our lifetime, hopefully in our lifetime, they're going to start to explore and to be able to help those people that are suffering from that disease, which is an awful disease.
It is.
Now, Mark's uncle, who passed away only a couple of years ago, suffered from Parkinson's, and I will see his wife coming up soon, and I'm curious if she experienced the same with her husband, if he had anything like that. So I'm curious, and maybe I'll bring that up to her.
And the time frame, like, it's scary. It's like, okay, and you said we're not supposed to, like, this is not supposed to scare anyone, but it's like, okay, you have this dream, and then 10 years later, it's when this neurodegenerative disease is going to kick in. And I mean, it's bizarre, but like you said, that gives 10 years to figure stuff out.
Yes,
like, it's a blessing and a curse, but like, God bless Alan Alda. I can't say that enough. I mean, he's just an amazing human
He seems like just a really amazing, really good person.
Actor. And to then do this just to bring awareness, I mean.
It also makes me curious for other people that we know that have Parkinson's disease, like Michael J. Fox, Muhammad Ali, all suffer from that. Ozzy Osbourne. So like, what? I wonder if their experiences were the same before they were diagnosed. Right. Were they having these spells of acting out dreams? I mean, that is really fascinating.
It is fascinating. And it's like, I understand that not all Parkinson's is going to be related to this RBD, but when 80% that have RBD, it does affect, that's a huge number. That's a huge number. 8 or 10, so, well, thank you, Kelly, for bringing this to our attention. And Bestie, out there, if you have any articles like Kelly brought us, share them with us, because this was obviously super fascinating. We can't catch it all. Share us anything that you read in the news, you hear about. We'll talk about it. All you got to do is check out our Facebook group, share them there. All you have to do is search for Remelations Besties, post it there. We want to hear about it.
There's also a link in the show notes to join our group. That's where all the cool kids hang out. And you want to be part of the cool kid squad, don't you? I know you do. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I do have to ask, Bessie, Brookie, darling, have you gotten any sleep in the last couple of days? Because I think you were battling a bit of insomnia, just to say.
What an odd question to ask, Mindy. Just out of nowhere. We've only had to reschedule recording this a few times because Brooke is delirious with no sleep. Yeah,
I don't know how you do it.
It's not great. It's
not like you're trying to do it. It's not like you want to do it.
No, it's like the worst torture there is, like sleep deprivation. I mean, we had talked about that experiment that they had to, or that game show or whatever, where they had to stay up, and
you're not making $1 million.
I'm not making goddamn shit from this.
Maybe we just put like a tiny camera in your bedroom, and then we'll just stream it on YouTube and just collect the cash flow, the data, all the money's coming. Yeah, maybe that's what we do. We'll just capitalize on your sad week.
I've even had sleep studies. Yeah. I should try to find that picture where they had all those things.
You should,
hooked to my head before.
Please, I'd love to see it.
But no, I've had insomnia for about 20 years. It goes in ebbs and flows as it does. It hasn't been this bad in my entire life. So I've been on the real struggle bus lately. So thank you, Mindy, for being the besties of all besties and supporting me and keep pushing.
Of course.
And being
I mean, I'm here
flexible.
for you.
Thank you.
Yes. I mean, I don't need you
ready.
to like, did you say bye?
No.
Bye. She falls
Bye.
asleep in the middle of the podcast. All right. I finally am tired.
All right,
Good night,
bye.
all. Goodbye.
Oh, wait, that's how much I've been sleeping.
Yeah. No,
10 seconds at a
mean,
time. No,
do you know what causes it in general stress? Or like, do you know what triggers it for you?
Mine, I think, is in general stress, because with the sleep studies, I don't have sleep apnea. I mean, they tested, for that. There's no blockage in my breathing that would keep me awake. So it is almost entirely stress induced, but you can't do anything about it. And it's the worst.
Now, is there anything, did your doctor recommend anything for you?
Well, I am going to be starting a new anti-anxiety medicine, which hopefully, I mean, it's going to take about a month or so to kick in or whatnot.
Sure.
So I'm hoping that will help settle this one down. There are other things I've used in the past.
Have you tried different
Ambien.
types of, have you tried that?
Yeah, like Ambien and stuff like that. But then I find myself, I don't want to get hooked on it. It's it works every once in a while when I need it. But then when I go through these bouts of insomnia, I feel like I could have 4 and still not fall asleep. And I don't want to get to that point. So I really just am hoping this new medication kind of balances me out a little bit and helps regulate my sleep, because
I hope so. We need you here. Our besties need you.
It.
You need it. You need your sleep. Not that you need your beauty sleep, because you look gorgeous. You just need your mental rest.
Yeah.
You do. They're $1,000.
$1,000? You're supposed to say $1 million.
Well, you do kind of look like shit. I'm not.
I'll take 1,000. I'll take 500.
So you're worth 1,000.
Take 500. Oh, who are we kidding? I'll take 50.
Yeah, she's a cheap date.
I'm so tired. I don't understand numbers anymore.
No. You're becoming like me. I remember when I was pregnant with my twins. Of course, I was the size of a small vehicle, and I did not sleep well because of everything going on. Well, creating 2 lives.
Discomfort.
And so
creating 2 lives.
I'm an overachiever. Why create just one at a time when I can create 2 at the same time?
Let's be efficient.
I went to labor at 32 weeks, got admitted, the contractions stopped, then my water broke, so I was on bed rest in the hospital for a week before they were born. But hardest time of my life, and also not only can you not sleep when you're pregnant, but not being able to sleep when you have the monitors on you. So I had 2 heart monitors on me, the blood pressure cuff. I had IV flowing through my woman area because the water broke. So you had to keep the fluids going through for the kids.
And they come in every 5 minutes to check on you. So it's there's no sleep.
There's no sleep. But I would say the one thing that they did give me was Ambien. It's safe when you're pregnant. It's safe for your baby. But that was the best night's sleep I ever got. Actually, for a couple of nights, I was out.
I'm not even joking.
Like a light. I mean, they could have amputated my arm in the hospital. I wouldn't have known. I was that tired and that out. Because up until that 30, 32, 33 week, I don't think I slept. Because I also had a 2.5-year-old.
So you're
so
all we needed was to give you just you just had to lick a pill. So lick an Ambien and you're
I was out.
Didn't you have to take a whole one?
My body was like, you need to be in the hospital this week on bed rest because, girl, you wouldn't slow down otherwise. And I think things work out for a reason. But that was a great night's sleep.
Just imagine, it's not okay, I'm going to get I am tired now and I'm going to get a great night's sleep. And then I'm going to have these babies and go home and just sleep like a baby. No, you're going to get one good night's sleep in the hospital and then
not for the 18 months. I do not remember 18 months of my life having 3 under the age of 2.5. So, good though. I want to give it up for the world, but it was a crazy
God bless
time.
that Ambien though. You got that one good night.
will always live in my memory.
But like I said, it is the only thing. I have tried different sleep therapies over the years, like different therapies, not just medication therapies. Ambien's been the only thing that has worked for me regularly. It's just not doing it this time.
Yeah.
It's just not doing it this time.
Okay, well, after this gets done tonight, I want you to just get all the pillows, turn on your sleepy sound machine, just get the Scentsy, the aromatics going, get all those essential oils.
I'm gonna have the oils, the aromatics, the blankets, the weighted blankets,
a weighted blanket,
the eye mask.
And then there's going to be a couple cats that just like sit on your head. Just to throw
that's
in,
the best part. Because that's just real life therapy.
Well, speaking of kind of bedrooms, do you remember last week we talked about your cleaning Chad's side of the bed with the drawer method?
Yes.
How did that go?
Yes.
Do we have an update on that?
We do have an update. It's still going. It's not full yet.
Okay.
So it has not been
more
emptied
stuff
yet. But it is, I would say by the end of the weekend, it's probably going to be full.
It's going to have to be emptied.
So
good to know.
I meant to take a picture, and I will as soon as we're done here. And then I will take a picture as he's emptying it because I want proof that he is following along with the program.
Share that on our Facebook group. He deserves it. If you hadn't listened to last week's episode, Brooke was saying that she had taken all of her boyfriend's shit that he leaves on the nightstand and just puts it in the drawer. And they made an agreement that as soon as the drawer was full with dirty tissues and water bottles and whatever,
water bottles, everything,
it was his turn to take it out. I will say though,
now there is a caveat. No food goes in this drawer.
Can't. Understandable.
No. Nothing that's gonna like fester. No, we're just talking about general stuff.
General shit
that goes in the drawer. General shit that goes in the drawer.
It's funny because we are looking to redo our bedroom. So now that we're in our off season, we have a wedding this weekend, but then we're off until no weddings till May. So this is kind of the time of year we get a lot of house stuff done because in the summer we're busy every weekend. So we're looking at redoing our room, and I was looking for new nightstands. I was, cruising the Wayfarers and cruising the overstock.com. We're not sponsored, but if you'd like to, please let us know. I'm looking for like the
Wayfair, Overstock. Yeah,
Target,
we love you.
Starbucks,
Target, Amazon.
Anyone. So I'm looking at these nightstands, and I was like, mine needs a drawer. Because you know what? When I look on Mark's side of his bed, his drawer is full of shit all the time. And I was like, if I pick out a nightstand without a drawer, that shit's just going to be on top of the nightstand. And I can't have that.
You gotta have a drawer.
Minimalist mind will not be able to handle that clutter. And so I have narrowed it down now. Must have drawer, at least one, if not two, to put all this shit in. At
least one. And you can literally just go
one hand
and shove it all in the drawer.
Swoop. Got it.
Whoop. Done.
We'll keep you updated on those developments, bestie.
And let us know if you have a better strategy for us. It's working now. It might be temporary. So if you have a better solution that has worked for you for a long time, please let us know.
Yeah, and do you have drawers in your nightstand for the same reason? Also want to know.
Gotta.
Post a picture of your nightstand. I want to see them. I would like to see everyone's style. So post it on our Facebook group. Share your nightstand. I want to see all the dream journals on the nightstands. Mm-hmm. And that's your assignment.
Mine has one now. That was my news.
If you don't sleep, you can't dream, Brooke. That's the problem. You understand how this works.
But I own it. I am ready to go.
As soon as you do.
Once it happens, I have made progress in actually purchasing one, and I will do my best to remember my dreams once I actually can fall asleep.
We're all hoping for you. All right, bestie, that wraps up another episode. But before we go, we want you to do us one favor, and that's to tell your best friend about the show. You can tell your bestie, you can tell your favorite barista that sells you teleportation coffee. You can tell your favorite skeleton Or tell your favorite servant and give them a nice tip and give them a raise. But tell them about the podcast. Please do. That's how we grow. And that's how we keep coming back to you each and every week with more crazy dreams.
Thank you so much for everyone that submitted a dream. Bonnie, your dream was wild and crazy. Thank you. Thank you so much. And of course, all of our catnaps. We had great stuff this week. It was a lot of fun.
Yes.
We heard from Gina and we heard from Leo, Matthew, Mike, Elizabeth, Nicole, Luna, and even Anonymous. So again, don't be afraid to submit anything you have. It can always be anonymous.
All right, bestie, it's time for bed. So, I mean, even if you're at work, just grab your pillow. Time to get a little shut-eye. And hopefully our best friend Brooke here will also get some sleep. But until next week,
thank you. Sweet dreams, bitches.
Woo!
I'm so excited to do that at our live show.
I know.
That's how we're going to have to end it. Sweet dreams, bitches. Bow.
Boom.
Leave.